Welcome to day 15. Today is all about sketchbooking. Now, I don't know if you're like me, I've always been a bit put off by sketchbooks. Not put off, a bit intimidated maybe. There's fear somewhere in there dealing with a sketchbook, because I understand logically it's a brilliant place to experiment, to make risks, to build ideas, to collect things you love. However, the reality is you buy a sexy new sketch pad and you look at the blank white page and you just feel this sense of, oh, I'm going to mess it up, it's not going to be how I want it, and you can hear that monkey mind critter pushing down your creativity. And what ends up happening is you don't bloody start. So today we're going to stop that, we're going to push the monkey mind aside, and we're going to have a go at setting up a sketchbook. Now, when I say setting up a sketchbook, you're probably thinking, well, surely Sam, you open up a sketchbook and you scribble and you draw and you sketch in it. What's the big idea of getting it ready? Well, very quietly, I've been working on improving my portrait and figure skills. And I've been doing it over on Instagram, as in I've been banking the finished images. I've been working on the finished paintings. And that's over on Samantha Diane Morris. Yes, it's my Sunday name. It's my full name. And that is where I just want to have something separate from what I ordinarily do. It's where I want to work on improving my skills, my technical ability, my technical understanding, but also take a few risks that don't confuse everybody who follow the cows and everything, but I still develop as an artist. And of course, those things that I learn doing that will, of course, influence how I'm working with the cows and everything else, in fact. So over on that Instagram page, I bank these images as I'm working through them. Some of them are digital, some of them are oil paintings. In fact, I want most of them to be oil paintings because that's where I want to improve my technical bank of skills. However, I see that if you pop on over there, you can see that I haven't posted for ages, and I could very easily tell myself, well, I just haven't had the time to play and to spend time on developing my skills because I've been working on commissions, I've been working on my products, I've been working on my workshops, I've been working on my studio, blah, 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 blah. The list is endless. And of course, there's life that happens in and around that as well. However, now is a great time for me just to sort of take a snapshot of what I've been doing there and a bit of a review and see how I want to take that forward. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you'll see that I haven't posted in ages. One, because I was saying I haven't had time and I've been busy. And actually, I want to dedicate more time to building those skills. But I can see I've got stuck, and I've got stuck from the point of view of, yes, I know how I want to paint and I know the colours I want to use and I know the method and the technique I'm using, but the story, what am I painting? What am I saying? I'm getting stuck on that and it's stopping me from starting. So I am going to dedicate a sketchbook to storytelling, and this is going to be where I collect ideas. Now, sometimes when I want to start a painting, I'll have the concept, I'll have the idea here, but what comes out on the canvas is something totally different. And that can be annoying, and you wish that sometimes it goes like the days where you work and it just happens and it just flows out of you, and then other days it sort of stops and you can't get it going, and it feels like a long time before you can come back to that day where it just flows out of you. And that's all to do with practice and exercising your creativity muscles, which of course we've been doing every day so far on this 21-day challenge. Anyway, let me get to my point. I want to tell better stories with my figure and portrait work. So to leapfrog me forward, to sort of fast track me forward, I don't want to get hung up on how I'm sketching or how I'm drawing. I just want to play with the design, because design is one of the most strongest elements of a painting. And design, I feel that sometimes it happens quite naturally for me, and other times I really need to think it through. And again, it's a muscle that we've got to exercise. So I'm going to use the sketchbook to help me exercise those muscles, and I'm going to rip out a load of faces, a load of figures, a load of compositions that I really like, just in magazines, because my focus is on figures. So what you might want to do is pick a particular subject and start ripping out images of that particular subject. Then when I've got a pile of that together, I'm going to paste that page by page in this sketchbook, and I am going to start to build design ideas from the images that I found recently. And this is going to spark new ideas. Picasso once joked, good artists borrow, but great artists steal. And what he was meaning by that is that great artists, they steal ideas, but then they build on top of them and they take it to another level.
On another level?
And that's what I want this sketchbook to do. I'm going to steal images out of magazines because the compositions, the figure movements, the figure positions, the head angles are going to be exactly what I'm looking for. But then I'm going to build on top of that to create a composition, a design of a painting that I really want to then take from the sketchbook to the canvas. Now, I'm not going to be able to do all of that in today's video. What you're going to see me do is put together my collection of stolen images into my sketchbook, and you're going to start to see me build some of those up. And eventually you will see over on the Samantha Diane Morris Instagram page, these images start to develop over time. Going to take a break. Farmer Jeff has called and he's asked for a hand blocking a few gaps in the gates and the farm so the cows go directly from the cowshed to the field. That means it's spring. Come on. Go back home.
Soul is lonely, sad and blue. Ain't got no loving shoulders to lean on. There's always a sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, and all your worries go away. Go cross the river and you'll be fine. Go counting winners, it's right down the line. You'll be alright on the sunny side.
That's the cows back in the field, back to sketchbooking. I'm going to pop you down here. I'm going to have a chat about what we've done so far. So, what you can see here, I've kind of stuck images down that have really caught my eye. And I've given a page to most of each images. Unless they've kind of gone together, then I've kind of built a composite image up, like here. This is half of a man, see his bow tie and his waistcoat, and he's holding some brushes. And I've joined his body to this lady's body with beautiful flowers, and the colours connect with each other really beautifully. And then I've started to embellish with butterflies and birds. And only when I started to do that did I notice the butterflies and birds in the picture too. I looked at the colours, I got some decoupage paper down and just started to build up a bit of an image that could possibly translate to a canvas really nicely. That's the idea with the sketchbooking, is that you build on your ideas. So it might take you a little while to sort of build up a composite image, I'm going to start going in and painting over on top of this to build up my ideas and play with the design. You can see by just ripping it out that I've got lots of ideas now to work on, just from 1, not knowing where to start, to 2, ripping images out of magazines and papers, to sticking them down and then building them up. So I quite like the idea of a girl who's looking through some sort of equipment at some birds. Some images, I don't know why, but intuitively I want to put them together. It could be that the colours really speak to me. It could be that there's something in the shapes that I'm dealing with here, because that makes quite a beautiful triangle. I don't know, I don't wrestle with it too much. I just want to get it down and then start building on top of it.
Soul is lonely, sad and blue. Ain't got no loving shoulders to lean on. There's always a sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, and all your worries go away.
So one side sketched on top of it and started to layer it up. Once I'm starting to get tired with that, I then cut an aperture. So I'll rip a spare piece of paper and I'll cut either a square or rectangle aperture out of it, and I'll use this as a frame and I'll position it in different parts of the painting. I'll spin it around and I'll crop the painting off to see what's working for me, and I really like that, the way the figure is actually out of the frame but the feathers whooshed in. It's a lovely point of focus here. I also quite like it with a little bit of the feathers in below. A little bit distracting though. I'm not too sure on that. So what I'll do is I'll keep playing with the composition and I'll take photos. So I could spend a whole day working through all of these pages, just building up different scenarios to the different possibilities. And then of course, I would take it to the canvas to start to build up an image. So all of that sketchbook work is like prep work. It's stretching those creativity muscles. It's planning your composition. It's looking at colour. It's trying out different cuts with the aperture, and it's also playing around with the design that you're going to tell your story with your painting. And of course you risk not being able to do all of that if you go straight to canvas. I love going straight to canvas because you just get your energy straight out there, but when you want to be more considered and more conscious about what story you're telling and how you're telling it, and to really give thought to how you're layering that up, a sketchbook is the way to start. So your challenge is to rip out some images that really grab your attention, particularly regarding the subjects that you want to explore further. So is it animals, is it figures, is it landscapes? Whatever it is, collect those images, paste them into your scrapbook and start to build upon those images so you can take that image further with your ideas. Scribble down notes in terms of what composition you really like, take photographs with the different aperture, and start to consider where you might take that painting. I'd really love to see a few pages of your sketchbooks just to see how you're layering that up, because whatever you do will inspire somebody else to have a go as well. Tomorrow, day 16, we're going to be putting artwork in situ, and I'll tell you a funny story about that. See you then. Bye, 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 bye.